Hey guys, this is Chris. Welcome back. This is part 2 of the Lincoln generator welder build. If you've not watched part 1, I definitely would recommend you watch that first. Just finishing up some electrical here, and then we'll get the flywheel back on. So here's our grounding wire. I run it across, I kept trying to push it up here as best I can. So I've run it across, I've run it through this leg and behind it, and then of course around. I had to use a little small washer because the tabs that they give you aren't for this motor apparently, even though it's what I ordered. But anyway, same thing with this one. I had to wire it behind this leg to keep it off the flywheel. So it's pretty tight up against it. I'll give you a little bit better view. So you can see I've got some distance between this shaft and this wire, these wires. Then I used a little bit of shrink wrap right here just to give it a little bit of a reinforcement on that wire. Run it through the back side of this, and then it comes out. This comes out yellow because I soldered that yellow wire to that little short black wire. And of course, this is my spark plug wire, and then this one here goes to my condenser. So now I'll solder a piece onto this, and we'll get all the condenser and the new points and everything put on. Now here, guys, I'm showing you a shim that I made out of some stock that I had. Just real simple. I had to bend it up, and it just makes it so the coil fits on there much tighter. Shouldn't be loose. Well guys, we never could get that fuel pump to work, so I went ahead and purchased a new one. This is a Sten, S-T-E-N. I got it off of Amazon, delivered, I believe, for right at $40. So we're going to put it together. It provides several things in the kit. One of them being this, and you just squeeze that on there, and it compresses these little clips, these little deals on the side here, the little square pockets, and that allows you to get these in there. It gives you 2 sets, which is kind of nice if you need, something like a 45 versus a 90. Gives you that. So I'll orientate these the way I need them, and then we'll put them in. It does mention cleaning the gasket area here off real good and using the O-ring only. And oddly, it sends me the gasket, but it says in the instructions to discard the old gasket if it used a regular gasket and just use the O-ring. So odd, but that's what we'll do. Well, it's a new day, guys, and we're going to get started today on these wheels. I've been working a little bit off camera just to accomplish some stuff on this undercarriage. That's what I'm going to call this, is our undercarriage for our welder. And so I've gotten everything relatively square and straight. What I've done is I've made a bracket, and I'll bring you in, you'll see this probably a little bit better. I've made just a bracket. I've cut some holes in it with the plasma cutter. And this bracket is going to go with the base of it just like this. And essentially, these wheels are going to get bolted through the undercarriage, but also through this bracket. This bracket is quite a bit thicker, and this is going to prevent that splaying out of the wheels like it had before. And so this will take care of that. This is not going to bend without some serious heat to it. So I'll wire wheel it off camera, and I'll shoot a little paint on it off camera as well. I think I've decided on this little welder generator, I'm not going to paint it. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to clean it up as best I can with some Scotch-Brite and some soapy water. Try to get it really, really good and clean. And I'm just going to leave it. Leave the patina the way it is, and I love all that stuff. But today, the main agenda for today is to get this undercarriage shored up and taken care of. I've got kind of loose bearings here. I don't know how well you can see the movement there, but they're loose. Last night I did this one just so that I wouldn't be doing something on camera for the first time, because these aren't something that I mess with a bunch. I've never messed with them before. I believe they're from a grain auger, is what they're from. So this one here was extremely loose, and I went ahead and took it apart and did a few things to make it tighter, and so I'll show you a little bit of that. So let's get started. Comes out. So now there's your empty wheel hub. That whole assembly gets bolted onto that wheel hub, the flange of that hub, and then this is all it does. So it's kind of like a compression fitting on this. Got this little pocket and this little pocket, and they kind of compress on this, and that's the actual bearing. I'll clean this whole thing up, and then I'll actually peel back the little cover, the little dust cover on it, and I'll get a little bit of oil in there just to kind of soften up some of that old grease. To get this tighter, I'll actually put this on the anvil, and I'll kind of hit this flange and this flange. That way when it comes together, it'll be tighter on this, and there'll be a lot less movement. I hope that makes sense for you. Okay guys, got it cleaned up, and so now it's ready to go back on. So all I've done is cleaned up the bearing, peeled back that dust cover there just a little bit, and shot a little bit of oil in there. Cleaned up these pieces, and I did bend these little tabs down some. Just the ends, the lip, I shouldn't say tabs, I should say lip, the lip of that down some. Okay guys, we got it bolted up, and now there is no wiggle in there. Spins nice and free. Okay. Just come from the hardware store, and so I bought these, I think they call them rubber plugs. So essentially I'm trying to mimic this. I think something like that is going to do the trick for me. And then I bought some fender washers, obviously for the top, but also I bought a few more of these little rubber washers. And the reason for that is in case I need a little additional height on these. So this gives me just a little bit of variability, a little bit of ability to adjust as I need to. And so these hopefully will insulate that vibration from the motor onto this. Plus these big rubber tires are going to do a pretty good job of that as well. Maybe I need to get some rubber stops back there. That'd probably be a good idea. So